Welcome to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright. This show is all about honoring you as a spiritual being, having a human experience. You are here for a reason, and it's no mistake that you are here on Earth right now. Spirit has guided you to this very moment in time, so you could hear the messages Pam is about to share with you. She is a multidimensional healer, light language channel, transformation coach, wife and mother, committed to helping you discover the tools and practices to empower you to live the best life you can. You get to choose the spirit path you take. You can connect to the spiritual guidance already all around you. Get ready to live a fully empowered life. This is the Empower Me Show.
Welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Empower Me Show. My name is Pam Bright. I am your host for this beautiful episode. Every week is so amazing because I have these amazing special guests that I get to bring into this space to share with you what empowerment looks like for each of them. And today I have my dear soul sister, mother, and medicine woman that I dearly love, Starfeather Marcy. She has been my mentor since 1989. And so we've been walking this medicine path for a very long time. And she's going to share with us wisdom from her soul path, her ancestors, her mentors, as well as the spirit of all that is, the creator, because the creator has all wisdom, all knowledge, all spiritual ways of being to assist us humans on this path. And so I'm so thrilled that you're here, Marcy, and
Thank you.
Starfeather. I know I think your original name was Susan Marcy, wasn't it?
Right. Yep. I changed
way back when. Yep. Awesome. So yes, our souls go back to way back when, sometimes even before our cognitive knowing of this lifetime. We go back centuries, sometimes some of us go back to the beginning of time when the earth was first formed. And I believe that Starfeather and I are those souls that remember somewhere in our consciousness about that, because we both have that deep resonance of the connection with the drum, the connection with the Native Americans, the soul knowing of who we are. And that's what I, Pam Bright, my human self, really want to bring into this show, but also all of the episodes, is that deep cellular knowing of who we are as soul. So before we get going any further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ground us into this moment, connect us to the Earth Mother, as well as to our spirit guides, teachers, and angels, and bring in the cosmic energies of the star systems, the planets, and the galactic beings. So I have my trusty drum here. Sometimes it likes to sing and you can hear it. Sometimes it sings to you, but it's a little bit more silent. So we'll see how it comes through for you. And I'll use my voice as well. So if you are in a position where you can close your eyes safely without distraction and allow these tones to come through you and ground you into who you are as a spiritual being having a human experience. That is what there is to do at this moment. Yeah. Creator of all that is, the one who lives and breathes within all things, We thank you for our lives. We thank you for this day. We thank you for who we get to be in this particular moment in time, 2022, summer in the Pacific Northwest. We are so grateful that we have been given these spiritual gifts to be able to bring to the world. Our missions on this planet as soul are unique and varied and beautiful. And each one has been specifically designed for each soul. And we thank you for this knowing. We thank you for this ability to transmit exactly the knowledge and the wisdom that is needed for each person that hears this message. And we now ask that all the guides, teachers, and angels that work with each individual person that's listening come into this call now, this particular episode of the Empower Me Show that is transmitted to 165 countries around the world. Those of you who are listening from abroad, as well as those of you who are listening locally, we thank you for tuning in. And we now ask that the beings of light that work through Pam Bright come through now for you to assist you in this particular time that we have in this moment. And we ask the wisdom to come through fully and completely now. Ana sena yekena nekena maetara maki I chuchu. Sana na yekera baitu asa nekena maki huta sana isa tapena mana na yaka. So it's coming through from the star systems. So you want to bring it through your head. Just allow your head to receive it, going right into the brain. Sana na na yekera baitu na sana gi itar baiche. Donde ya sana yekera baetadina maisa tapina itena isa. Going now to the heart, coming into the fullness of who you are. Nana sana yetara yikita e ututu manaisa tabaiki. Nana yikisara baitara baine. Itu utuna mayasa. E sunu asana yekita baitua. Nana yesara. We now ask the Earth Mother to fully and completely come into our bodies, assisting us with who we are and who we get to be in the world, and asking us to ground into our fullness, our full self-expression. Nana sena yeki tabadeki sanameki ya, utesa na yetiki namaye. So as you notice, I use my hands a lot. So I pull in the energy from the earth, allowing it to come up like roots into your body. Nana sena yetara maneki senama eunde sana yekitaba. Yetu ana sena esanana ya. Yasana yeye. Yasasa. Take another couple deep breaths and allow yourself to come back fully into this now, fully conscious, fully awake, and ready to receive the wisdom that Starfeather has to share with us today. And so it is. Welcome back.
What is?
Woo, yay. So I have my trusty cultivated hippie sparkling energy shift spray that I'm going to spray on myself, and it's got sage in it. So imagine that it's spraying you as well. Okay, and it's, oh, smells so good. So it allows us anything that we use sage to use as smoke up to the creator, also assists us energetically to release anything that we don't need anymore. You can also use crystals for the same thing, allowing yourself to just let your energy go into the crystals and release anything that you don't need. Make sure that you cleanse your crystals. And if you want more information about that, you can ask me. You know where to find me. And, there's lots of different tools that we use in this space. And I will bring in as many as I can to help you to embody who you are as a spiritual being having a human experience. So with all of that, Starfeather, welcome, welcome, welcome to this beautiful show. And I see that you have your art behind you, this wonderful sacred art that you have been gifted with throughout the years. And looks like in the background you have, is that a painting or is that a picture right behind your head?
That's a photograph.
Is it really? Wow.
Isn't that beautiful? My friend Sandra Rhea from who now lives in Hawaii took that picture, and it's from Mount Rainier.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Beautiful.
Lovely. Thank you, Mount Rainier, for assisting us in this transmission. This is wonderful.
Mount Rainier is our Tahoma. Tahoma is the spiritual name, is the guardian mountain for this area. It's a very sacred place.
Beautiful, wonderful. So we bring Mount Rainier and that energy into this sacred space as well. And Starfeather's going to share with us a little bit more about sacred space and about ceremony, because that's our connection. That's what we know as soul sisters, is how to create sacred ceremony and create sacred space. And that's what we do really well. And that's what Starfeather is gifted with, has been gifted with for a very long time as a medicine woman, a teacher, a shaman, a sacred crafter, and all of these many things. And we have a question from Chris. Yay, perfect timing. Okay, we'd love to hear from Chris.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
Hanging in as the best I can.
Okay, where are you calling from, Chris?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Florida. Okay, wonderful. So, do you have a question about for your healing needs, or a question for Starfeather specifically, or that we can help you with today?
More or less the healing, because I'm suffering with COVID and colon cancer. I've been battling the colon cancer for almost a year now.
Okay. All right. And how long have you had your COVID symptoms?
I still have it, and I was in the hospital for five or 6 days, I believe.
Wow. Okay.
And,
okay. And your cancer you've had for how long?
I was diagnosed last August.
Okay. All right.
With colon cancer.
Okay. So, what are the specific tools that you're using right now for dealing with all of this discomfort in your body system, and any fears that you might have going on simultaneously?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just curious to know if I'm going to be able to pull through and make it through all of this.
Okay, so here's what I know about that particular question, is that I'm not a psychic that actually sees the future and predicts it. What I do know about that question is that a lot of those kinds of questions are fear-based. And they're also wanting, it's the ego trying to say, I want to know the future. I want to know exactly what's going to happen to me so that I can prepare. The news is all about that. The news is all over that, filling it and filling it and filling it and filling you with more fear. So what I can tell you and what I can ask you actually in this moment is, what and how do you want your life to be? How do you want it to look? How do you want to affect other people? What gift do you want to give to others and to yourself to leave a legacy for your life? What's most important to you right now?
I ever since I was a child, and just recently I've come to terms that I am pretty much a clairaudient medium, and I would like to share my ability with the world to help make it a better place.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And are you doing that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So you're already acknowledging that you have this gift, and you're acknowledging that this is something that you want to share with the world. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So with that, what's true about the human condition is that every human dies. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't say that coyly or meanly. I say that from the bottom of my heart, knowing that we are mortal. And that as humans, the fear tends to come up immediately when we think about our future or what's going to happen, right? As soul,
yes, ma'am.
As soul, you know that you're eternal.
Yes, ma'am.
As soul, you never die.
Yes, ma'am. I agree.
As soul, you get to affect the world around you and everyone in it.
Yes, ma'am.
So I ask you, what is the message that you want to tell your body system right now about itself?
I want to tell my body that I'm strong enough to get through this and come out okay in the end.
Okay. All right. So Starfeather, you're receiving things right now from this question. So what do you have to add to assist our caller? Chris.
Thanks for asking. Well, first of all, in my kind of to tag into what you were just talking about, one of my foundational teachings comes from the Cherokee medicine wheel, which in the center of the wheel, very close to the creator, there's 7 stones. And those 7 stones represent 2 different things. First, they represent that we're multidimensional people. And so your body is in the physical form, and that's one of all of those dimensions. So you're much more than your physical body, and you can call on those other aspects of your body to help you move through this challenging time, to bring your body into balance. When you are ill, you're out of balance. It's a constant work being in the physical form to stay in balance, right? So to do your best to do all the things, to eat well and to do some exercise and to meditate and to pray and to ask for the help that you need from your guides and helpers. And then the other part of the 7, the sacred 7 around the creator stone is that we have been given 7 lifetimes in a series. So it's out for me very interesting and has brought me a great relief, actually, as I get older and older, to think, well, this is one of my 7 lifetimes in evolving as soul evolving. And when I'm done with 7, then I'll have a pause time where I will integrate all the teachings of all those lifetimes, and then I can choose whether I want to come back and begin another series of 7. And some people think, I can't wait to get out of here, I'm never coming back. So you might think of what that is for you, or you might think of, I really want to learn this lesson, I want to integrate it so that I can be clear and then come back again in in a different body, then birthed again to do my work on a higher level and be able to be more of an impact. So beautifully, you have some sense of what your gifts are. And a lot of people go through their whole life and have not a clue. So that's a real blessing that you have that. And
yes, ma'am. I agree.
yeah. So I would absolutely, I'm assuming you're getting some medical help.
Yes, ma'am. I'm currently on my third stage of chemo, and I am trying to stay isolated and not infect anyone else with the COVID that I'm currently experiencing.
So it's really important, I think, is to stay in the positive. It's especially when
yes, ma'am. I agree 100%. I have a very positive attitude, and I have a lot of
so this kind of call and a lot of other things that you can do, to stay in the positive vibe is really great, and to not pay attention to all the negativity that's quite prevalent in our culture right now. Don't you worry about climate change. Don't you worry about COVID, and don't you worry about starvation and all that stuff. You just be really present to yourself, loving yourself, blessing your physical body, moderate exercise, being really present, loving yourself, asking your guides to continue to show you how to walk that path of beauty so that you can really learn what is it I'm supposed to learn from this experience. And that will help you heal. I hope that's helpful somewhat.
Yes, ma'am. That's very helpful. And I will continue to do that as much as I can possibly do.
So I have a question for you. What kind of support do you have where you live? Spiritual support, emotional support?
My father passed away. However, my mother is probably my biggest support system at this moment.
Okay. All right. So a lot of the work that we do, Starfeather and I, but also a lot of others, is to assist with these kinds of challenges in the world. Okay. So
yes,
we
ma'am.
are available for you if you so choose to reach out. I'm going to assert that Starfeather could be available for that. And she will let you know if she is not, or how she can serve you on the wave of Zoom or phone call. I am available to you as a coach, as a mentor, as a light language and energy channel to assist your physical body, whatever you need with that. And you can go to either reach out to me at theempowermeshow@gmail.com, or you can reach out to me at pam@brightbutterflynetwork.com. And I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you about how we can further assist you with your well-being, because it's really about your well-being and how to really embody the fullness of you. Because you, even though your soul, you may not understand it on a human level, your soul actually chose this experience for you right now. In this
yes, ma'am,
time.
I agree.
So thank you for calling. Hopefully you got some assistance. Continue to listen, because anybody that calls in or gets to have a conversation with us, you're going to get what you need in this call. So know that support's always available to you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. And
all right.
You really have been a very,
can you go ahead
very
and
helpful.
Can you go ahead and leave your email with Jacob, the producer, and just type it into the chat so that he can capture that for you, and then I can get that afterwards, I'll reach out to you as well.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be more than happy to do that.
Wonderful. Well, listen, you are absolutely loved and cherished and in the perfect position right now. And the divine
Thank you.
is taking care of you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I really,
Thank you
really
for calling in,
appreciate
sweetie.
you.
Bye-bye.
All right. You take care. God
Bye-bye,
bless.
hon. All right. Well, and that's how it works, folks. If you need anything, if you need healing, if you're looking for a blessing, if you're wanting to information, we have a lot of wisdom to share, and this is the time to receive what you need. So back to you, Starfeather. Tell us a little bit about what you remember about how we met and kind of the journey that your life has taken on since coming to Washington.
Well, I can do that. And but I'd really like to start prior to that, because I think as I get older, I've realized that I've been on my path since I was, probably born, but early memories since when I was a child.
Yep.
And I thought I was just zigzagging all over the place and didn't think I knew what I was doing, and because I'm all the time kind of coming against the wall of culture, that wall was like saying to me, "You're weird, you're kind of odd, you're not following our path for you," and I'm not. I'm going on. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what really brought that to my attention was something I was, I went back to Cape Cod, where I had my first business as a young woman there. And it was called Art and Soul, and a creative workshop center. And it was at that place that I really began to explore my own gifts and just say, it's my place. I'm going to do what I want. And I felt that I was really answering my calling at that time. And what really brought this up for me is I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah.
So,
that's great.
This flyer, I was visiting my sister this summer in July, and this flyer was taped to her front door one morning, and by whom I don't know, with a note: "Sorry, I missed you this summer, but I found this in my archives. I thought you'd like to have it." And it's probably from 1985.
Well, I have something to tell you. I have something to tell you about that. I have something to tell you about that.
I'm doing the same stuff. And
you had that same flyer in 1989 at the Medicine Wheel retreat.
Did I?
Yes. And that's where we signed up for your first women's drumming circle.
Well, I love this. It's really pretty.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful.
This is what we don't do anymore, is this piece of paper with.
I know.
Yeah. But anyway, so for me, I really wanted to be an artist. And I felt that was something I was really good at. I didn't quite know how I would do that. And my parents supported me through my childhood with different art classes and that. So that was really great. And I also, at the same time, growing up, had this fascination with a Native culture, indigenous people. At that time, when I was young, I lived on the Susquehanna River in a little town. It's now probably a big town called Vestal, New York, near Binghamton, on that southern tier. Anyway, beautiful, huge river. And my sister and I would play Indian, we would in make believe, and we wouldn't just we would become that. We would in our little world, we would transform. Kids have that ability to do that, whether you become a fairy or a mother with your baby doll or whatever it is. Well, for me and my sister, we had make-believe ponies, we had our own language, we hunted arrowheads beside the river, and we were very free. That was one of the gifts of my childhood. At that time, kids could run free, and we would just take off with our peanut butter sandwiches and be gone. In the summertime, we'd be gone all day and be off in that world of exploring. And there was, it was swamp, and there was, this wild areas where we live. So anyway, both of us cherish those memories, and we really both have come to feel that we were acting out somewhat from past life memories. And I have felt that a lot in my life, where I just know how to do things and I don't really know why or how I know how to do it. And so that's where, and that really came through in my work, my first work on Cape Cod at that Art and Soul, where I taught a process painting, because in that area, really the only way you can, most artists end up trying to sell their work to the tourists that come. So it's sand dunes and seagulls and an ocean scene, and it's a beautiful place. And don't get me wrong, I love it there, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that for my art. I wanted to do, and from what I was feeling, from my soul expression. And I had no training in that, or no, way to get to that. And I learned transcendental meditation, and that was my first door opener. And I learned that when my son, Casey, my first son, was born, and in the 70s. And so that really helped me to make that first connection.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And we talk about that in this show, don't we? We talk about prayer and meditation, and I do what I can to bring in the elements that I have been gifted with to share with you. And so if you're interested in transcendental meditation, that's something that Starfeather could share with you a little bit more. I don't know that practice, although I know people that have it and do it pretty frequently. Probably you have adapted some of what you were first taught to your own way of meditating now. Is that correct?
Well, yes and no. I mean, in transcendental meditation, you're given a mantra, and it's a very simple way to then repeat that mantra over and over again. And they said, why I started it was because they said 20 minutes of meditation twice a day was equal to 3 hours of sleep. And I was had a baby that was colicky, and I was so not getting enough rest. So that was like, oh my, 3 hours of, for 20, that would seem like a really good trade. So it became much more for me. And transcendental meditation is available everywhere. It's a global thing. And I'm sure anybody who's listening, if they want to find out about it, can just, Google transcendental meditation, TM, it's also called for short. And I still do that today. I still do that, not regularly like I used to, but I still use that form of meditation. Anyway, my pathway over the years has led me to, I do guided meditations. So and again, to me, that's like going into that childlike place where just you're being read a fairy tale story, while you're falling asleep, and you kind of go into that altered place in your mind and, follow the story, and you feel it internally. And so that's what I was doing with my art, was doing that kind of guided journey. And then in that same entranced place, then going into the studio and painting without talking. and just painting the images that came to you in meditation. And it was profound what happened. And a lot of healing happened too. I was very angry at the time. And I remember just hurling paint against the wall, some of it landing on a piece of paper. And how fabulous that felt, because there's very few ways that you can express anger and frustration, with safely, you're not hurting anybody, it's just paint.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was
great.
a really fun time.
Well, and sometimes I have used the drum that way. Now, I'm not putting anger into the drum. What you need to realize with that, and just like you're not putting anger into the paint, it's actually releasing it out and to be transformed and transmuted. So like if I was really angry, right? I'm using this as a transmitter, right? So I'm not holding it. It's not going in there. This is actually being used as a catalyst to release it out. So really it's about your perspective and your intention for releasing. That's what we're talking about here. So are you currently doing guided meditations with people on Zoom or anywhere else?
Well, I do a Sunday morning guided journey that is walking the medicine wheel. And so I invite people to connect. We connect and we have a check-in, and then we do, and then everybody turns off their camera and we do a meditation. And I walk them through the medicine wheel, which is honoring the four directions, honoring all that is above and all that is below, the sacred center. And in the medicine wheel, then there are 12 stones, 3, 6, 9, and 12, that are designated to honor all our relations, which means everything that's here and there. So then it becomes a meditation of gratitude for life and for all that it has been given to us and for all that is. And like there's a stone that is for the bird nation. So we imagine walking to that stone. And I have a real medicine wheel in my backyard, but this is one that we hold in our mind, right? And walk around and around, stopping at stones for the winged ones, for the four-leggeds, for the two-leggeds, for the plant nation, and so on, for the stars, the moon, the sun, all these. Each one of those has their own stone. And so that's the kind of meditation that I'm doing now. And then in the center, at the very end of that meditation, we go to the center and we imagine putting our hands on that creator stone. And then would be really beautiful, to then pray and ask for what you need. We all want support and help in our lives. So there's that time for that. And then we come back and have a little time of sharing at the end of that. So that works really well.
So if people wanted to join you with that, they would go to Meetup, is that correct? And find you. What's the actual link for that?
It's Walk in Beauty is one of them. I did 3 different meetup groups, but Walk in Beauty is a good one to connect for that. That.
All right. So if you go to meetup.com, folks, and Jacob, is there any way you can bring that up on the screen for people so that they can see it? I have the link on her bio, I believe. And it's the Medicine Wheel Zoom meetings so that people can connect with that.
Yeah, thank you. It's very enriching. I've been doing that now since I started doing that. I think just before COVID really hit, and we've been because it was something I felt I could offer on Zoom. I'd always done my classes and gatherings in person, so and as you know, the drumming that I do, the drumming doesn't really translate that well on Zoom, unfortunately. And so this was something that I knew I could offer that would work really well with the Zoom format. So I think,
Yep. That's perfect. That's perfect. And so Bobby just wrote in that he would love to have a light language blessing for clarity and comfort. Bobby is one of my clients, and he's one of my faithful listeners. So thank you for that.
Nice.
And actually, what I'd love to do, Starfeather, if you would like to give a blessing and maybe a prayer up for Bobby for comfort and clarity for his path. And then I will end with light language. If you want to join me with light language, you can, but it's up to you how you want to proceed with that. Okay.
I love the language of light, and I'm a speaker of that as well. I have been blessed with that. And usually for me, I use a crystal singing bowl as like I think of that's my antenna. As soon as I start playing that, it's like, whoom, there it is, and certainly would be delighted to start that. And it's Bobby, is that
Bobby Biggs is his name.
Okay.
He's from Florida.
Beautiful. Well, I would invite you, Bobby, to see yourself in the center of the medicine wheel, standing right close to that creator stone. So if you can imagine, great big boulder, bigger than you, in the center of a circle of stones. And as you're standing there, the stone that's across the way is the stone in the north, and that's the stone for the ancestors. Really honoring that. And the stone behind you would be the stone in the south. And that's the place of innocence and trust and children. And the stone to the right of you would be the stone of the east. And that would be the one that is for that opportunity for a new beginning, where the sun rises, and that gratitude for that expansive place where we can be inspired to seek something other than the path that we seem to be on. And then to the left is the place of going deep within, introspection, your inner knowing. So your inner knowing brought you here right now. And we're grateful for that. So if we just imagine that you're there and putting your hands on that great big boulder, the creator stone, your feet are on the earth. And we invite Spirit to come in now and say, please, Spirit, bring us all the healing energy that we can possibly receive in this moment. We're grounded here on the earth and so grateful to be present with all our relations all around us, helping us. May we find our place in this wheel so that we can continue to walk strong. We want to follow our path of destiny to our highest and best good for ourselves and for pathways to serve others. Please help the healing energies of the universe to come into this physical body and help me to cleanse and release all that I no longer need, so that I may start again with a new insight, a new direction, based on gratitude for all I've already been given and the opportunity to greet one more day on this beautiful planet. Thank you for all of life. Breathing in. So good. Thank you. All my relations.
Thank you, Starfeather. And Bobby, as you know so well to do, I now invite you to bring in your angels and archangels into this space, surrounding you and giving you the love and light that they know how to give so well, holding you in the perfection that you are. And we ask all of your guides, teachers, and angels to surround you and lift you up to the creator of all that is, the one who lives and breathes within all things. And we ask the specialists of clarity and comfort now to come into this space and assist Bobby in his next steps. And we ask the spirit of compassion and communication, Archangel Gabriel, thank you for that. And we thank the great central sun for holding this portal open for this transmission and this healing for Bobby as well as Chris and all those others that are listening to this transmission, this wisdom that is shared from Starfeather and Pam, and all the guardians, teachers, and angels that are assisting with this in this moment. Ana yetare tu dada yetana eya baba yetu da ye kadeda ya eta dada ye. So imagine that feathers are being wafted all around you now. The energy is coming through as the angel wings are really transferring to you and transmitting all of the comfort and clarity that you can receive in this moment. Nana yesata yetada ye tada ye kia ya tata yesu apa ye tata yeta e tada ye kuala ye kadada ye hone sana me kisata. There you are, Bobby. Thank you, thank you, thank you for writing in. Hopefully that gave you what you needed for this next moment and for the rest of your day. And you and I will talk soon. For now, aho. All right, and welcome back. Thank you, Starfeather. So in your mind, or in your heart, what are some, you mentioned that you hold on to a mantra or receive a mantra for meditation that really assists you in sleep as well as in your daily life. And if you were to connect into the collective that's listening to this transmission, what is a mantra or maybe a couple steps that people can hold on to for assisting them in their healing, in their well-being, in guiding them into their day and into their week?
Well, first of all, so mantra, it is a word, it's from TM anyway, it's a word that is given to you based on your energy system. It's a unique offering, and it's a Sanskrit word. So I guess I don't have, it is not in my place to offer a mantra. I'm not trained for that. And I think that it's a special gift. If a person wanted to research TM, they could find that, and they could also, find, it has to be a word that doesn't mean anything. So it's not going to, and it's usually I believe like a 2-syllable. It's a I mean, it could even be that. And so it's a repetitive thing. It's not saying happy trees, for example. It's not real words. So that we understand in English, it takes your mind out of your everyday thought form, and your mind eventually rests and can't think. And then that's when you really open to spirit. So I loved being in trance. And I do that pathway now through drumming, with trance drumming. So that's another way where we drum for an hour without talking or singing songs. And it's just drumming. It's just the beat of the drum. And eventually your mind, it doesn't know what to do with that. it wants you to sing a song or something. And when you don't, you just keep going. That's your basic format for shamanic practice, the drum.
Okay.
So that is another way. And eventually, to have somebody do that for you so that you're not having to think about it in the shamanic way, that's the best way I can think of to help in this situation.
That's great. That actually helps a lot, because as I have shared with you folks, this is all about, I give you tools, techniques, and tips to assist you on your journey, right? So here's another tool that you can take on. You can either have a hand drum like this with a drum beater. This is called a beater. Or you can use like an African drum, or even bongos, or, if you don't have one of those, you can take a pot and a pan and a spoon and ding it, right? Anything that makes sound that's going to take you out of your head, right? Because we want to quiet the mind. We want to disrupt our patterning. So that's what that does, is it disrupts the automatic patterning that keeps us in a habit, keeps us stuck in this thing that keeps repeating, where we don't have any ability to get through it, right? So our automatic patterns can keep us stuck. So the drum actually assists us in getting deep into our knowing, deep into our heart space, deep into our soul connection with the earth, as well as with all of the memories of this planet that we call Earth. It can also, as we do these practices, it can also assist you with going up and out to the star systems and connecting with the planets, connecting with the empty space, right? So allow yourself to explore all these different concepts that we present in this particular episode and this show in general. So Starfeather, we have a few minutes left. So if people want to get a hold of you and learn from you as a mentor, connecting with you on Zoom or a phone call, or even through email, how would they do that?
Oh, thank you. Well, I have a website that's modest, shall we say. It's somewhat out of date, but you can certainly go there and take a look. That's starfeather.net.
Okay.
Starfeather.net. And it's, very, as I said, quite modest, but I would welcome anybody to connect with me that, has further questions or whatever. And I'm continuing to find my way, just like everybody else. Everything is flowing. And I think that that it's really important to pay attention to what's calling us forward and what's needed now. Life is not the same way it was in the 1980s when I started my work. So I'm still learning, still growing, studying shamanism, for example, was a different pathway for me. And past life meditation, past life journey work, very important part of my education and growing, and just continue to really stay present, and also, working with the earth, being present and loving the earth. I think that's something that we all want to do, be outside, be present to nature.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And those are really wonderful words of wisdom. And it really is your unique path, folks. Nobody can tell you how to do it. They may try, right? Because as humans, we want to be right. We want to have our voice heard. We want to say what the truth is, right? And see, even then, I'm saying right, like, will you believe me? So here's the thing. You don't have to believe a word I say. That's what's true. You don't have to believe anything I say. I invite you to listen to your heart and ask your heart, do I believe what I'm hearing? You know, that's my invitation to you always is look in here. Your heart will tell you what you need to hear. Even if your ego thinks, oh, I don't need to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to even pay attention to that. It's there for a reason. Just pay attention and be true to who you are. Love who you are. Be willing to be surprised. Be willing to be surprised. Be willing to be surprised. So it looks like we are just winding down for the hour. It goes really fast every time. But I want to say thank you to Starfeather for coming onto this platform. I adore you. And I got to tell folks that this beautiful woman was our officiate for our wedding renewing our vows ceremony that my husband and I did last week. It was glorious and honoring of who you are as a soul, who I am as a soul, who my husband is as a soul, and the great spirit of all that is, was fully present and fully informing all of us of how to proceed from this moment forward. And so that invitation goes out to all of you to take that on as your truth and take on your spiritual journey as a conscious choice. So you can reach me, Pam Bright, at the Empower Me Show, especially if you want to be on the show. I'd love to have you as a guest. If you want further information about how to work with me, you can also ask that same question. Starfeather's information, I believe, is available to you as well up on your screen. If you want further information and you need to have it consciously and visually and through your ears, you can contact me same way, and I will give you that information. So we love you. We adore you. Thank you for being here, and have an amazing, blissful, loved day. Yeah. Many blessings, and rock on. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright on Transformation Talk Radio. Tune in to learn more about living a fully empowered life. Remember that your life is up to you, and you can choose the spiritual path you are on. There is spiritual energy and wisdom in everything and everyone around you. Listen carefully for what the universe is trying to tell you in every moment. You are already being guided along your journey. Call upon your spirit guides anytime you need help with anything. Know that you are safe in every moment, even if it seems that you are not. For more information about Pam Bright, visit brightbutterflyenterprises.com or email theempowermeshow@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening. We hope to see you next week.